Thank you so much, dear Morgaine. So good to see you from Italy, and so good to see all the members. Hello and namaste to everyone joining far, far away, and many joining maybe from India, many joining from different parts of the earth. So thank you to all of you, and special thanks to Nicolas, the whole team of Eden Pranic Center. Yeah. And I'll try to be very slow. I'll be conscious because of the translation. Thanks to all the translators. So yes, a great gratitude to Nicholas, to Rafaela, and the complete team. So I was about to come to Italy this time, but life sometimes wants us to be present somewhere else, and I had to be present somewhere else in India. So currently I'm joining with all of you from India physically, yet I'm somewhere very close to you spiritually. So today's talk, whatever words I share, feel as if I'm speaking from a very close, intimate connection with you all. So if I can, once again, a warm welcome. I would like to share my screen just to give you some visions, some helping aid of pictures. Usually the language that we use is not just words, but the visions that we get, right? It's all about visions. So these visions are going to maybe support you a little bit to reach to that state of consciousness. All right. Is the speed okay up to now? Yes? Okay, cool. All right. So I'll share my screen, and yes, host needs to enable me to share my screen. If you can help me share my screen, please. By the way, whosoever is feeling very warm and hot, who are joining from Italy, maybe we will reach a state wherein we will be able to maintain the inner temperature at our will. Yeah, that's what a Breatharian is, who can maintain the temperature inside, that no temperature outside is going to affect us. Of course, we are a part of nature, but the moment we reach this state of freedom, the moment we become the master of our vehicle, the temple that we have been given, nature is going to support us. Nature is not going to put this warmness around us because nature knows the master is ready. And the nature says, hey, master, I am for you. So, over this talk that we will go through, I'll also make you do certain exercises, certain visualizations, certain mind gymmic activities to keep you all awake. So I hope you had your lunch there. So, but yeah, I'll try to keep you all awake. So I'm going to share my screen. Do confirm if you can see my screen now. So I'll minimize this and I'll take you through a slideshow, a small presentation which I prepared. Oops. So what I'm going to share requires some very important disclaimer, first of all. So I say that do not believe a word that I say right now, because enough of beliefs that we already have for this life, a lot of beliefs that we have accumulated inside. And if we see the word belief BELIEF. It has a lie inside. LIE, isn't it? So all beliefs that are being taught, that are being conditions, are lies. And I don't want one more lie to be added to you. So what I'm going to share is coming from my life experience. It is not just coming from a bookish knowledge, enough of bookish knowledge that we all had up to now. We want living examples. We want a sample of knowledge. I personally feel that we want a spiritual scientist who has applied all the laws, all the theories which are mentioned in the wonderful books that we have. Yeah. So my words are still going to be very limited because words are very limited always. So try to catch my feelings as well. Try to catch my silence as well. Try to get into that state of silence as well. Let the special 1 hour be a different one. Yeah. That's my whole purpose of sharing what I have received from the universe. Okay, so this Breatharian term is also very limited. I personally feel it's very limited. And why I am saying it limited, we have faced a lot of troubles, by the way, with this word Breatharian. And Morgaine knows it, Nicolas knows it, Bullied and team knows it. The world around us is not liking this term Breatharian. They want us to be the consumers. And the term Breatharian says one who can thrive, not just survive, but thrive without indulging in that consumption pattern. Yeah. It's a shift from being a consumer to being a creator. Yes. It's a shift of consciousness. So when I started this journey, I felt that it's just about food freedom. And we usually dream that, oh, if I get free from food, I don't need to do anything. I will be like a free bird. But this concept is just a dream, or I would say a mythology that we adopt or we have in mind. In reality, it is a truth that it's not just about food freedom. This is a deeper level of freedom. And I would never say a Breatharian is just a person who is not eating. No, no. It is he or she is a person, is a state of consciousness who is free from everything. It's a total freedom. And getting into this lifestyle, I have realized that this freedom, the major part of this freedom is not getting free from the world around us, is not getting free from what they are trying to trap us. We are not getting free from the consumerism. We are trying to free ourselves from our own conditioning. This is real Breatharianism. And that's why we can replace this term Breatharian. Maybe in the future, we will not call a person Breatharian. Actually, this term is very good, but if the world doesn't like it, maybe we can say a butterfly consciousness or the person who has wings. Yeah, we will see what these wings are. I'll share what are those wings that I have realized and experienced. So before that, when we talk about freedom, just a small glimpse of this visualization. Look at this aquarium and look at this fish. Huh? So here is the food that is being placed for this fish. And The fish goes to the food. There was no disturbance in between, and the fish was easily able to eat the food. Now, after some time, scientists thought of let's experiment and befool this fish. They kept a transparent glass in between. And now every time the fish would go to consume that food, it would strike its head back and it would get the pain, the suffering of pain. But it would keep on trying, yeah, because the hunger and the past experience that I used to enjoy this food that was kept here. But now there's a glass. And the fish keeps on trying and trying and trying. And finally, the fish says, okay, I give up. It's no more. There is an obstruction in between. So after some time, the scientists decided to remove the obstruction. The food is there, but the fish will not go to the food. The obstruction has now occurred inside the consciousness of the fish. It is not present physically. It is there inside. The memory of suffering is inside. And the fish dies out of hunger, but it does not give up. It does not give a try to eat that food. Yeah, this is what conditioning is. It does not allow the consciousness to go beyond because it has been impregnated. The deep imprints, which are so deep at a cellular level, I would say at the soul level, that we do not try to attempt, we do not try to see, we cannot. There is a barrier. The barrier does not allow this. It will not. No books, nothing will allow us. Yeah. It will be an inspiration for us from the books to read, but no, we will not take the step ahead until one day that aha moment comes, and it comes to all of us, and we will see why it comes to all of us, and it will come to the each spirit present on this earth, and we will see how and why. So let me share one interesting video with you. I like that video very much, and I want you to. It says the environment in which we live, yeah, it has a lot of conditioning on us. And a major part of conditioning is already inside of us, not just from this birth, one birth that we have, but from many, many births, because we are eternal beings. Yeah. So if we want to fly, if we have that deep inner calling of having the inner wings, which originally we used to have, and that inner calling has come up to many body around us, many sitting here right now, many online have joined, many will see this video afterwards, maybe in few months. So that inner calling of getting those wings back, it is also there inside each one of us. Yeah, it's there inside. It is under the wonderful play of this whole life that this inner calling comes up to all of us. And this wonderful play of life, when we say, has two main energies. Everything is energy, as we say. But the two main energies is one, the consciousness, when it marries the corporeal world. There is a marriage between the incorporeal. I'm not sure how it gets translated in other languages. You could say the consciousness playing a, a intimate relationship with the five elements of matter. And as soon as we get this five elements of matter, they say that in a mother's womb, the consciousness enters in between 4th and the 5th month. And you know what? We cannot complain that why am I given this human body? Why this particular type of human body is given to me? Why am I born in Italy and why am I born not here? We cannot complain because we all are responsible for it. So the consciousness decides what form it will take. And that is the supreme intelligence that it carries inside. It's an automatic play, they say, that the consciousness knows in which family should I be born, which womb should I get. It is there inside, according to its past karmic blueprint, according to the sanskaras that we have adopted. But after having that costume given to us, after having that vehicle given to us, we can decide how we want to operate now. So let's not regret about the past, how many years have passed. Let's say somebody here is already 70 years of physical body. Don't regret that. Sometimes people do regret, oh, my 70 years have passed. I'm having a big belly and oh, I have destroyed my body completely. No, life wants you to play that part during this period. And now awakening can happen at any instant. So healing is possible. Awakening is possible at a cellular level at any time. That is the power of consciousness. So I always take this picture wherein the consciousness enters the womb, plays the part, and begins the journey. Now, in this particular journey that we have right now, this time, we need to decide that what type of life experience do we want to have? And when it comes to experiencing life, it's not just about how am I thinking, but how is my car operating? This car, the human body that I am residing in, how this car is operating, I being the driver, and this is my vehicle, and how I want to explore this journey. At what speed do I want to go? How many times do I want to brake this car? Brakes and the brake. How many accidents that I want to have? We decide. Yeah. And the quality of car that we own and the more upgraded version that we bring it on. Yeah. Upgradation, constant upgradation is possible. Right now, we are upgrading ourselves. That upgradation is constantly possible. So Nicholas used to tell me that, hey, Ujas, you don't know what type of car you are having right now. I used to have a very, very old version of car earlier, which was very heavy, very dense, very congested, very slow. And now what car I'm holding right now? He said, you are now owning a Lamborghini. So, so the type of speed that we want to go in depends very much on the fuel that we put inside and how much are we aware about this car. Yeah, this is a super technology, this human body, supreme technology, I would say. And the higher technology that we are is the consciousness. We could not imagine where we could reach. So right now, even when I'm speaking from where I am right now on this journey. Maybe tomorrow I will share something else. Yeah, it's a constant upgradation. So my journey of this evolution of changing my car, yeah, it started very much from reading lots of books from Nikola Tesla and many books from Hilton Hotema and so many books around health, wellness from Arnor Eret, so many writers, so many books, consumption. But they were useful to me during that time. They had their role to play. Yeah. Sorry. So when I read this term where Nicolas says that electric power is everywhere in unlimited quantities, and it can drive world's machinery without the need of any fuel, and so many of his great works are hidden. Yeah. So we all are having the fuel inside of us. This was the first message that I got about 4.5 years back. Then I had many questions in my mind. So after the lots of questions comes lots of research. So I used to research a lot, read a lot of work. And when I started reading, I started consuming food in a very different way. Uh, so initially during my childhood days, I would say I was a very lean boy, very lean, very thin, but I was like a current, super electric, super powerful, super fast. And I used to consume, I would say, only the packet biscuits. Yeah, the most dirtiest food, as we call it as. So the packet biscuits is what I used to consume more. Very less amount of food that I used to have. And yet I was tireless. My whole family used to tell me that you just sit for a while. Yeah, I was tireless and I was involving myself in full sports and running here and there and enjoying. So over a period of time when I grew up, I was bullied quite some time during my school days and even college days for being very lean, very thin. But I did not care for. I became a little bit mature and my conditioning started increasing. Yeah. The influence of the surrounding took a control over me. That's where I started into the consumerism pattern. Yeah. Protein, the games of proteins. You take more, you bulge more. So then I started bulging myself more and more, more and more, more and more. And my life was pretty much congested, I would say, because the congestion inside was reflected in the form of congestion outside, the cellular congestion inside, where the cells are not able to communicate with each other. Similarly, I was not able to communicate with the life around me. Although we try our best, yeah, but we don't get that deep natural feeling. And we put so much efforts then in order to counterbalance. Yet we don't see that the problem is inside. Yeah. And that's why lots of skills around us, lots of courses, lots of speakers, they are going to increase more and more because people are carrying problem inside of them and they are trying to cover it up from the outside. That's why so many gurus, so-called gurus, I would say, so many things around us. So I was getting into that same pattern and I bulged myself up fully. But that spiritual inclination was there inside of me. And finally, I realized that the fuel that I consume is making a huge difference, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So I started consuming raw food more. It started with this raw food journey wherein I don't need to prepare the stuff. I don't need to involve myself into complicated cooking and so much of spices and tastes. So forcefully, I would say I took up that journey of raw food out of all these readings and books. And I lost a lot of weight, of course. All that was gained artificially, it came out of my system because nature is powerful. Nature doesn't want us to be congested. Nature wants us to be free and light. We are light beings. So I lost a lot of weight. I would say over a 1.5 year, I was on raw food, and then I took up the fruitarian diet for about 1.5 year more. It was almost about 3 or 3.5 years when I sustained only on raw food and fruits majorly. And then slowly, as I moved ahead, I got to know about prana. Yeah. And for the first time, I heard.
Ujas, I have a request.
Yes.
Is it possible that you show us the slide and then switch back to your screen where we can see your face? Because you're talking, but we can't see
Yes.
you. We're just staring at the same slides. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Sure. Yeah. Thanks for that recommendation. So I'll stop my screen share in between a while. Yes. So yeah, okay, I go slow. So after a while, I got to know about prana, and prana for me was very simple term, one that has a healing power. And when I say healing, I used to have this example of a fractured bone. Fractured, we don't take any medicine externally unless we want to have a painkiller. The doctor just applies the plaster and we don't need to move. That means we don't need to use our energy in the moment until the life force energy heals the wound. It is there inside. So I got to know, wow, there is an energy inside of us which can heal, and it's healing continuously. But is it possible that the same life force energy can nourish us? It can heal, of course, but can nourishment be possible? And that's where I heard about Breatharianism. I think this information came to me about 3 years back during my Breatharian journey. And I got to know that there are people who won't eat a full-fledged level 4 Breatharians. So that was the first information that landed to me for the first time. And I started reading more about it. So for taking that journey ahead and reading lots of books, what I can do maximum was dry fasting or juice fasting or water fasting. And that's what I did. Yeah, I entered that realm of fasting. I will again share my screen, what fasting did to me. So yeah, I hope you are with me up to now.
Yes,
So,
thank you,
so
Ujas.
yes. So I understood that this life force energy that we all have, we are using it like this turbine. Look at this turbine. Yeah, this is just a metaphor of a human body. So this turbine, if we say, is a human body, and these are our atoms and cells, and water, let's say the water is the food that we consume 3 times in a day or 4 times in a day. And the cells, they are being programmed by the consciousness, which says that, hey, it's a lunchtime, 2 p.m. And the fuel goes in, it goes out, the cell functions, moves, they are being ignited by that fuel. Yeah, they are being forced that you need to work because we have been programmed and conditioned. It's our habit, it's our sanskaras that we have cultivated. And the sanskaras that we have cultivated inside, it's programmed inside. So the cells get that programming and they need it. They need it at 1 p.m. Otherwise, they will not start the machinery and we will feel a sense of lack. Yeah, low energy is what we say. So the water, the food comes, it gets into the digestion, the turbine, but the water is not absorbed, as they say. The water just passes away. Of course, the electricity is produced. Of course, the cells are going to produce energy out of the combustion, but the food passes away. Why? Why? Because we are made up of atoms, and atoms cannot eat. Yeah, so simple is that. No atoms can eat? How can atoms consume? Atoms have electrons in it, and electrons can activate themselves. So why are we consuming so much of food? That's what Nikola Tesla said in one of the book, and that's what I read. So much of energy was wasted day in and day out. And that's where I took up lots of fasting. And I wanted to get into this journey of being a level 4 Breatharian. Yeah, I'll be a level 4 Breatharian in a no time. And we are all being conditioned to jump from one state to another. So one state wherein we are full of into indulgence, yeah, consuming a lot of stuff. And the other state is where I went into the other realm of the scale is fasting. We want everything fast. Woohoo! I wanted everything to be fast. So I went into this journey and had a lot of troubles, immense troubles, I would say. When I remember that part of me, of course, that part was very important for me because it gave me a lot of wisdom. And the challenges, some of the challenges that I could share with you, one of the challenges that usually people say is extreme weight loss. And that's where people fear a lot, yeah, about the weight loss, about the physical image that we have created. We are unable to sometimes handle the situations. The speed goes so much, yeah. In the fasting state, we enter a different conscious, and our speed goes so fast, we don't realize where we are reaching. Our sensitivity, which was so dull before, it gets super high level. We get super high sensible. We can feel the deeper aspects of life. We can listen the subtle sounds, yeah, which was there, but we could not hear because our ears and our consciousness are so dull by the food, so much of food. And if you have realized this state, you will be able to understand what I'm trying to convey right now. Sometimes we don't realize that out of doing all this stuff, out of doing entering into a long term of fasting, we lack the awareness that where am I heading? It's just because imagination that somewhere down the line I will be a level 4 Breatharian, but we don't realize the subtle awareness that needs to grow over the period of time. Once we get rid of the stuff inside of us and we enter a pure state, that pure state needs to be handled very slowly and very gradually. So there is a lack of awareness in fasting, I would say. Emotional pains is what I had to face a lot. Tremendous emotional pain, tremendous emotional traumas inside of me, tremendous anger inside of me. Yeah, I used to believe that I'm a very spiritual person, very peaceful, but I used to, I would say, suppress a lot of stuff. I faced a lot of emotions during that period. I finally entered a state wherein I had a complete loss of interest in the life around me, a total detachment. I could not understand. I could not understand why this world is operating, how it is operating. I could not understand what my parents were saying, and they could not understand from where I'm speaking. So it was a dilemma, uh, a serious dilemma. And trust me, somebody trying this could enter a state of madness, or I would say even death. So I was not able to endure, I would say, what I was going through. The higher vibrational state was not able to be handled so easily by me. There was no matching between my older state and my new state, which I was not aware about. What is this happening? Yeah, I would go into shocks, and some visions that I had were so terrible. I could not understand who who these people are talking to me. They were quite subtle. When I entered into a lot of dry fasting, a lot of coconut water fasting, sometimes I used to hear some sounds which were like, whoa, where are they coming from? So out of all this, a lot of weight loss and a lot of learnings and a lot of imbalance, I would say, finally I realized that this one message, the simple message: nature does not hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. And in that state of higher consciousness, sometimes very important messages land to you. And you know what? We don't need a lot of stuff to read and a lot of things to hear. We need very simple messages, simple, clear, and direct. If our consciousness is pure, we don't need all this complicated stuff. Do this, do that, do this, act. Everything falls into place when we are in that pure state. And just one information, one message can create wonders. And the simple message that I don't need to hurry, yeah, but that intensity of going ahead was still there. And that's where this information of pranic came to me. For the first time, I heard Nicolas. Yeah, so I'm grateful to Nicolas. I heard it for him for the first time, wherein he came to India. I could not meet him for the first time when he came, but I heard him online on YouTube. And I was not feeling safe during that time. So safety, life safety was gone because I was in that state. And that's where I heard him, and wherein he talked about sustainability to make it sustainable and safe. I decided to take up initiation, which I took up for the first time. And I learned a lot that this is not an overnight journey. Uh, this is a very long journey, a lifelong journey. And this is not about being a completely food-free person. Of course, we can be. Of course, I don't know what my future holds. But it taught me a lot of things. How to integrate with the life that I'm living right now, with the duties that I need to do in this karmic life cycle, and the awareness that I need to build. I need to learn a lot of stuff from life. I need to understand the law of cause and effect. So I took up this journey of liquid. I took up the journey of evolution from being a full-fledged eater to being a butterfly, who does not eat. And that's where I entered this liquid consciousness. I say this as liquid consciousness. I don't say that I consume liquids. It's a consciousness. And this consciousness is very wonderful. This is an intermediary state, I would say, right now. And this state is in balance with me right now. Of course, it could not be for you. It could be for you. But for me right now, this is right in the perfect balance and harmony. According to the role that I'm playing right now in my life, this suits me very well. And my vehicle, my human body, has evolved a lot. And with the evolution of my cells, I have evolved a lot. I would say I'm a completely different person who I was 2 years before. Complete different person. And now I could balance myself with this new identity. So when we say this liquid consciousness, I always remember Bruce. Yeah, Bruce had a very beautiful video. He used to say, "Be water, my friend." So this line used to fascinate me, wherein he says that just the empty state, the state which is ready to flow, which is ready to take a new shape anytime it wants. and which is ready to crush, crash, and which is ready to get into stillness at whatever time it wants. This is the liquid consciousness. So there are many aspects that I have written here. I would like to share a lot of many aspects, but before that, I would like to stop my screen and see that you all are awake. I would want you to do a small exercise, maybe to keep you awake. Yeah, let's see how liquid you are, how flexible you are, and how much mastery you have over your senses. So I want all of you to raise your left hand and your thumb, your left thumb. Yeah, okay. And do a victory sign with your right hand, a victory sign with your right hand. And parallelly, this thumb, okay? Now I want all of you to shuffle. That means the thumb goes on the right and the victory goes on the left. Yeah, okay, okay. Now let's do it very fast. Be very conscious of your moves. Can you do that? Okay, just a brain gymming exercise. The one more, let's try one more. So with your right hand, draw a circle with your right hand. Okay. Now pause. With your left hand, draw a triangle. Now do both the things parallelly. It's not so easy, isn't it? Yeah. So both the parts of the brain, they get activated, and two different activities are not so easy to handle. Yeah. Okay. So I'll reshare my screen and just share quickly about my journey. So my journey is all about not to chew, not to bite, not to rip. And for the last 2 years, I did not consume any solid food. When I entered this pranic state, this pranic initiation from Nicolas, he said to me that, yeah, you need to eat solid food in between. And you know what? Eating solid food in between this journey is the actual teacher. Creating problems inside of us consciously is completely different than every day creating problems unconsciously. So getting into hell and then coming out to heaven, this is liquid consciousness. Getting into solidity, coming out into liquid is this journey. But for me, because I was a lot into fasting, I was like, woohoo, I will go full on liquids. Because he taught me that you need to have a little bit of balance and freedom. So I was fully into the thin type of liquids, to which I came to little density. And I used to have this question during my initial days that, hey, I was going on a full-fledged fourth gear. Why should I come back? But I had to come back. And sometimes stepping back in life is very important, very crucial. Why? Because the lesson beneath which I left to learn, I need to learn that lesson. And that's what this Breatharian journey is. Learning over your own life journey. We don't need any book. We don't need to learn. We don't need to listen. We need to live our life. And the life that we live is our biggest lesson in this consciousness, the Breatharian consciousness. So this liquid journey is about becoming a skilled driver, very sharp driver, I would say, very intelligent, one who has a super control over his steering. steering of life? Where am I leading? Where am I directing at every instance? One who has a super control on the accelerator. He knows where can I speed up. He knows where to apply the brakes. Yeah. And how to apply the brakes. What to consume, which will allow the body to apply the brakes. Yeah. So it's very interesting. And every day on this Breatharian journey, there are surprises. In this liquid consciousness, life brings many surprises which we are not able to see, which we are not able to perceive. You know what? They are there, but we are not able to capture it. So in this state of evolution, we learn and get the messages from life. And to do that, there are lots of physical healing, lots of emotional, mental, and spiritual detox. Because what we have been programmed needs to be flushed out. So for me, very deep set of healing, I would say there were many healings, but if I tell you a few examples, very interesting examples, uh, I would say that my teeth, they were all wrongly positioned. I don't know how, by how this liquid journey, they got reshaped. They are completely into different shape right now. So this is the reality which I have experienced. Many physical ailments which I had. I had a severe injury on my left thumb, a very severe injury when I was very young. My ligament was broken. I did not have any pain, but when I did this journey, I used to have a very severe pain for about 2 months or so. I could not exercise. And I was surprised to see that how this pain came up, which was so early during my early time. So whatever is unhealed, it comes up to the surface. And the deeper wounds are so deep, they are not just physical. They are very deep wounds of emotions. I had some very severe emotional wounds inside of me. And you know what? Sometimes these emotional wounds are connected to the memories that we have with food. Let me give you a brief example. So, today it's going to be mostly the end of your Breatharian festival. And let's say we have been programmed that after a completion of festival or after a lot of efforts, it's to get the reward. Yeah, you did a wonderful job, my son. Hey, you take chocolate. So if somebody is programmed in this state from the early childhood, that if you perform well, you'll be given this chocolate. And over a period of years, if you enter this state of practice of pranic living, you will remember that memory. And if you don't get satisfied with that chocolate, with that flavor, with that texture, you won't feel rewarded. Yeah, because there is a emotional memory attached to that food element. And for me, this happened quite a some time, wherein my emotional stability, my comfort was lying in the food which my mom used to prepare, a very special warm vegetable. But I gave up eating solid food. So I used to tell her that you prepare me that same type of vegetable which you used to prepare for me during my childhood days. And I would blend it, make it a very smooth liquid. Yeah. And I would take that and it would help me relax, at least emotionally. And actually, I realized that my craving was for emotion, but that memory helped me to at least suppress that for a while. And slowly, when this awareness was raised inside of me that I need to process that emotion, I need to process that memory, I was no longer craving for that same food, for that same warmth, for that same texture, for that same taste. So, a lot of sensory pleasures that we crave for is actually the suppression of our emotions. So if we learn this lesson, it's not just about the words that I say. When you go through that experience and when you go through that memory, that emotion, you learn a lesson. And out of that true learning, the learning is deep inside, you would say, yes, I'm done. And you will detach yourself easily to be able to overcome through it easily. Until we cannot overcome it, we need to go through it again and again, again and again. Thanks for being patient. I'll try to keep it short and simple now. So that shift from cravings, lots of cravings for lots of taste, we need to go through it very slowly, very consciously. We need to go through all the tastes which life wanted us, which we used to cover it up with lots of flavors around us. And it happens gradually. And slowly that pleasure cravings, it shifts to fullness. We don't crave for anything to add inside. Yeah. And you know what? This journey is also not so easy. Sometimes during my initial days, I used to have immense craving to chew. It was so immense, if I tell you, it was so immense that I used to crave that I will bite the table. I want to chew the table. It was so intense. But slowly and gradually, when peace enters inside of us and we digest the life situation around us, we don't want to suppress by that chewing. And I have realized that chewing plays a huge role inside the consciousness. And that's why chewing gums are created. When I read about it, if you want to read it, you read it, that why are chewing gums uh, developed by this human society, and why sports person in particular, they keep on chewing, because chewing, it initiates a lot of digestion, a lot of shifts inside our brain, a lot of dopamine, many other chemical stimulants are released. And when we don't get that stimulant, even from life, we have to manage how to be in that state of peace. Yeah. And that is not so easy. But if we go along, then we come to the state of fullness and we realize that being empty is being full. It comes up very slowly, very gradually, wherein we realize that I don't want to indulge in a lot of stuff. So why that occurs? Because of the immense amount of energy that enters. Immense amount of energy, I would say. Unlimited energy. And you know what? Having immense energy is also a problem sometimes. Because if we don't have a purpose in life, if we don't know how to use this energy for what to create and where to utilize it, we will again indulge back to food, because food will take up a lot of part of our energy. So if we have not found a purpose, or if we have not reached to a state wherein we live a purposeless life, just purposeless, because the supreme purpose of life will guide us. Until we reach that state, we need to go through this. And until then, we will keep on eating. You know, a baby, a small baby, it wants to bite everything. Yeah. So until we have not experienced life from outside, until we have not completed the circle of taking information through food, because food is an information, and this is a technology, and this is the pen drive, and we add the information. Until we have not gone through all this cycle, we will not enter this state, will not take up this journey. But will take up very easily. It will be very much inclined to us the moment we say, hey, I'm done with all this taste, and I want a divine taste, the taste of life, the taste of prana. Yeah. And that taste is amazing. So super energy, super flexibility, I used to have sleepless nights. So then I manage and realize how to get back to sleep also, because having sleepless nights are also not what to do. I used to write a lot. There was a time where I was not realizing that who is making me write so much of stuff. So much of words would come out of me so naturally. I was keep on writing. I was just writing, and so many deep levels of messages would land to me. And I shared the same with Nicholas, with Rafaela, and we had a talk that how this messages to land to us. Sometimes during the initial journey, I would say that there were days full of sleeps, immense level of healing occurs. So during that time, the body says, hey, you just turn your work off and we need to work inside of you. So I used to sleep for 16 hours. And if I tell you, there was a time where I could not even move my finger. It was so intense. So,
Ujas, we're just past the hour now. So we wanted to see if you could take the rest of your presentation. I know you have a few more slides there. Can you condense down in the next couple of minutes the last bit that you would want to share with us? I'm not sure that we could get
yes,
to it all, but we want to ask you a couple of questions too.
yes,
So a
yes,
couple more minutes just to give us your main points of what you have left to share.
yes. So, so these balance between sleeplessness to full sleep, it usually occurs during this journey. And we realize, we get maturity that how to enter, what to take. Yeah. So eating will no longer become a kind of a nutrition requirement. No, we will we will consume even the liquids according to the life situations that we have, according to the reality that we are living in, according to the celebration that we go through. And we must go through it for many years. That's what I realize. Through all the life situations, when there is a party, when there is a Christmas, when there is a festival, how can you manage that? We need to go through it. And just very, very important experience to share with you that there was a time when I used to crave for food. And then came a time to me wherein I could prepare food for my whole family and so efficiently without tasting it, of course. And they would say, wow, how can you cook so well? And you know what? This Breatharian consciousness makes us a person who can do anything and everything. So many hidden skills which are hidden inside, they come up to the surface because the life force energy is ready. You can operate a full dynamic person who can do anything and everything. And my senses were so sharp. I used to smell food far from distance, even 3, 4 house far away. I used to smell the food, and I was full. Even after just by smelling that food, I would feel, wow, this is this food. So I could smell the food and I could prepare it much better than the one who is eating every day. And that's what the feedback which I received. One more very important element is the natural connection with nature. We can naturally feel that connection because the purity and the sensitivity inside of us would naturally bring us close to nature. So during this journey, if you get very closely intimate to nature, it's very beneficial, is what I found out, because we are a part of nature. One more very important element is silence, peace and silence. So even in drinking, even in eating, if we have that peaceful, mindful, meditative state wherein we consume so slowly, yeah, as if it's a state of bliss. And you know what? In this state, a constant state of silence and bliss is inside of us. So this is very important and a crucial part. And at the same time, along with stillness, the movement is very important, because when the light force energy is running inside our body, we want to move. Movement is a natural, I would say, a natural instinct. And when there is no problem inside, we just want to move. And this movement can be anything. I don't indulge or limit myself with this qigong practice or this and that. No, movement is like free to move. If I want to dance, I dance. If I want to do some workout, I work out, yoga, whatever. Yeah. And meditation becomes a routine, not just a 10 minutes or 1 hour of practice. It's a constant state. So this whole journey is a shift from being a consumer to being a creator. And there are many shifts that happen to me, many shifts that happen to the relationship we have with people around us. We are no longer going to have the same friends. So this happens quite naturally, wherein our energies no longer resonate with them, and we shift and we get into the connection with a different reality. And finally, we enter a surrender state, wherein we surrender to the supreme life. Yeah. We don't try to have our own purpose, but we surrender with the supreme purpose of life. And we get the guidance every now and then, and we see the divine plan in that guidance. And you know what? At every instant, a certain form of information gets downloaded quite naturally. The messages comes to us. And finally, we realize that we are just a small channel of the Supreme Consciousness. And this channel needs to be utilized. And right now is a very important and crucial time for all of us. It's a global awakening. And as the time moves in circle, we all are moving into this circular phase wherein we are entering a new age. Yeah. And personally, I feel that the Garden of Eden is very near. First, the Garden of Eden is created inside of us, and definitely and surely it gets manifested physically outside of us. It has to be. And you know what? If we don't prepare ourselves for this journey, we will be forced to do that. And the greatest force that law will use, nature will use, is the force of suffering. So we all are in this final stage of entropy. The law of entropy, as they say, the law of entropy says that whatever is in disturbance will get into a systematic pattern. And we are entering into a systematic pattern of evolution very soon. So just 1 more minute to share, just 1 more minute. So
I give one more.
out of
Thanks, Ujas.
yes, out of this awakening, sometimes if we try to fight, sometimes we try to blame the people who are not allowing us to awaken. We need to realize that we are not against anyone. Nobody, not even the big pharma, not even the food industry. No. They are with us. And we realize this, that they are with us because they are playing their role of destruction. And the construction and the destruction must go on parallelly. We realize this maturity. So we don't fight, we are not against. Everybody's playing a perfect role in the drama of life. And we need to choose in which party are we. Even in the construction phase, we are going to enter the golden era. Even in the destruction phase, wherein we need to destruct the Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, we are also bringing the golden era close. Everybody has a part. I need to realize which part I'm going to play and how am I going to play. Yeah. So this picture is very interesting. The tree is finding its spot, interesting spot. So nature is going to find its way. Are we ready? I think we all are ready. And that's why we all are here right now. 50 people online and many people joining from Eden Center. And the smallest of change that each individual makes, since we are all interconnected like a human tree, it reaches to all the branches. Yeah. The change within me is going to affect you. The change within you is going to affect me and to all the elements and atoms.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
Ujas.
that's all my message.
Thank you. It's been beautiful listening to all of your information that you've imparted to us. It's our brains are very full right now. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions, but we just want to thank you from our hearts to yours for taking the time to join us all the way from India and to share with us a little bit of what it is you've been pondering in your process of a pranic lifestyle. Thank you so much, Ujas.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you can write to me via email. My email ID is, if I write it on the chat, is that fine, Morgan?
We can put it in our Breatharian world chat. We're going to wrap up the video now. Yeah. Thanks, Ujas.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.